What up, everybody? Good morning, party people in the house. It's your favorite Unk. I'm back. Should have done a mic check to make sure it worked. But nonetheless, I'm here for a short time, not a long time. We're going to talk all the changes that have been going on the 40 acres over the past couple of days. It's been popping. Everybody leaving. Except y'all are here. So since y'all are here, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. I'm going to be here for a short time, not a long time. Up's got to catch a flight this morning. My son is playing a soccer tournament out in Phoenix. So I got to roll out. Don't you think about it. I got ADD security and I got nosy neighbors. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. But nonetheless, we just get into this, pop it off and everything. Good morning to everybody who's already in the chat, the Rodolfos of the world, my man Court, Chris G, Chris Bennett, Voodoo, my man Nate, all of y'all who are here, fan club presidents. Good to see all of y'all. So this is what it looks like. It's been a while, by the way, but this is clearly what it looks like when your team is not in the playoffs. It's been kind of weird, right? We haven't experienced this. But what happens is in these kind of situations, there is a fallout. And there's a fallout that's destined to occur and a fallout that does occur. And now what we're seeing is the fallout of what happens when your team does not make the playoffs, when they kind of fall short of expectations. There's a twofold thing that happens. First thing, the easiest thing is time for some coaches to go. And then at this point, you got players who are like, man, y'all can go ahead and have that Cheez-It Bowl thing. I'm good. And we get it, right? So we'll break it down because we've seen staff changes, we've seen player changes, and, some of us are not as significant as of this moment, but things are happening. So I was talking to some people yesterday, and I'll get into the player stuff here as well. And let me just do this. Let me just put the graphic up for y'all. Let's just start off by this. Let's talk about the departures that are going. And good morning to you, Big Cheddar 15. Brandon Torre Torre. That man, he coming in hard. This guns are blazing about C-Jack. All right, so let's talk about what's been happening so far with the changes and departures so far since the season has ended. Once everybody realized that there's not much left to play for outside of a bowl game. Yesterday, we get the report comes out that Sark has parted ways with running backs coach Chad Scott. Okay. We'll go. Aaron Joe decides that he's going to leave. He's going to take a job up North Texas. And then there's the player things that are here as well. All right. So we have that to start off with. Let me start off. I'm kind of going to go back and forth on the screen with these things. The Chad Scott thing is probably of no surprise. And it shouldn't be any surprise. We were just here yesterday having the conversations about the running backs, right? We were having that conversation about how the run game really took a step back. And we were in it, and I tried to talk about, I don't want to put it all on Wisner, offensive line, but it's hard to ignore that the new coach came in and the run game pretty much went to trash. It kind of went, it was trash for most of the season. And it shows when you go from a Stan Drayton to a Tashard Choice to a Chad Scott. Yeah. It's like, who don't belong in this photo? Who don't belong in this picture, right? And it's clearly was Chad Scott. No disrespect to him. And I say that no disrespect as I continually disrespect people all week long, right? But at the end of the day, you can tell there's something ain't right in that running back room. Just something different about it. And again, he came in this whole he's from West Virginia. He did it over here. Maybe he's going to do it over here. And then it's He was never the home run hire that you thought you would want Texas to go after. It was kind of we can kind of plug and play and we'll fill in the rest kind of deal. And it just, at the end of the day, he wasn't it. He wasn't it. And to Sark's credit, the thing I'll give Sark credit for on this one, for the most part, when stuff ain't working, especially on the coaching staff, Sark's like, man, we're good. Sark he retained Andre Coleman, the receivers coach, who inherited from the Tom Herman staff, as y'all might remember. And it only took him 1 year of Andre Coleman to realize that ain't it. He's like, I don't know what y'all was doing before, but I don't need this. That ain't it. And to Sark's credit, he looked at that particular hire as like, that ain't it. And so we got to get rid of this guy. And I give him credit for that. He didn't double down on a bad hire because it ends up being a bad hire. You got to fire a guy after one season. It's a bad hire. Like, it's a miss. There's no way about ifs, ands, and buts about it. But at least, to his credit, he says, all right, I'm going to correct that. And so he has corrected that, thank God. Rodolfo's like Andre Coleman. And then, Rodolfo, don't you go into Jay Witt. You leave Jay Witt out of this. All right? I don't want you to segue from Andre Coleman into Jay Witt. Let's not do this today. We are 15 days away from Christmas. Let it rest. All right, hold on. I did see a super chat come in. Let me make sure I got that. Somebody said, with all due respect, your cheeks. Hold on. It was Longhorn Football Editors came in, $5 super chat. He said Sark is taking quick and decisive action. Yeah. You're not on the same page, Longhorn Football Edits. Scott wasn't allowed to move on. Sark fired him. Yeah, optics matter. Sark ain't playing, and he's showing it. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, 9-3 ain't it. It just ain't it. And it's not even the 9-3. It's just not making the playoffs. That's what it boils down to. Like, this is a team that you got to make the playoffs. Like, that is kind of how it is. And so when you don't make the playoffs, it's not a success. And so again, I give Sark all the credit. I give him a lot of credit. Bad hire, but you know what? We ain't gonna do this no more. And so we now hear the list of names, the list of potential candidates that come out. One of the guys who obviously seems to be in the running is Florida running backs coach Jabbar. And is it Jaluk? Is how I say his name, Jabbar Jaluk. This is interesting doing a deep dive on him yesterday in that whole incident with LSU. Jabbar, Coach J, may I call you that? Let's not get into little tussles with the young folk. How about that? I know you amped up, but I know you're a man. Let's not do that again. All right. But he's on the market. Apparently, Texas and Kentucky are pursuing him. And look, we were able to see at least firsthand what he was able to do with Texas against Texas last year. And hell, look, if he's going to come here, hey, can you bring that running back with you by any chance? Because we would love to see him again. We would love to see him in some burnt orange if at all possible. Was it Ball was his name? Jaden Ball. If you want to bring Jaden Ball, hey, what up, Jay? He's a potential candidate, obviously, as in there. The name Stan Drayton gets tossed around as a potential. Stan's an interesting case because from a coaching standpoint, I mean, he's an elite running back coach. And the only reason he left was to take the job at Temple. Well, that didn't work out. That was at Penn State. And, coaching change that's up there. Stan Drayton makes all the sense, checks all the boxes. And he's got good recruiting staff around him. So there, you have that with Stan, and they have the rapport. There's always a Rashad Samples that his name will always come up just because of his Texas ties. It makes all the sense in the world. He's at Oregon. There's good options out there as relates to whatever Sark wants to do. I think that whatever he does from a hiring standpoint, though, whatever he does from a hiring standpoint, it's got to be a guy that checks the boxes. Like what I want to see from this running back hire that he's going to do, I don't need it to be some mediocre coach that nobody's ever heard of, and you're just trying to fill it. No, I want it to be a home run hire. The thing that I want Sark to do going forward, that my request of Sark going forward to all the people inside the building who are going to listen to this show and report back to Sark. Sark needs to be more like Saban when it comes to his hires. What does that mean? It means you've got to go after the best and the brightest in the industry and don't worry about anything else. The thing that made Nick Saban such a good coach, the thing that made him the GOAT as far as coaching is concerned, is that he always hired the best and the brightest. You look through the list. This is what my whole thing with him, with Sark, and the whole play calling thing, right? And, he and I, had the little back and forth about that or whatever, right? And he didn't like that question, but it is what it is. But the thing about Nick Saban, when you sit there and you look at the GOAT, did Nick Saban need Kirby Smart to call plays? Nope. But he understood that, hey, this guy is good enough and elite enough that I'm going to let him do what he does on that side of the ball. Now, Nick Saban's a defensive guy. I could have called the plays. I could call the plays. I'm Nick Saban. But he's like, no, I'm going to have Kirby Smart do that. What I need Sark to do is be more like Nick. Look for the Lane Kiffins of the world. Look for the Kirby Smarts of the world. Look for the Steve Sarkeesians of the world. Look for the Mike Loxleys of the world. Go through that. Look at all the guys that Saban had. And those are the kind of hires that I want to see at Texas going forward. I don't need no mediocre dude from the Big 12, yada, yada. I don't need Mr. No Name. I don't need another person from the NFL. No disrespect to Chris Jackson or Kenny Baker or anything like that, right? I need you to get an all-star staff going. All-stars. Guys that check the boxes. Not guys, this is Texas. This is not the place where you go and you have to have guys that, well, I think they might be good. No. I need bona fide, badass. This is one of the best running back coaches in the country. We went out and got him, point blank. Ego to the side. And if you can do that, then you're more like Saban. And learning from what he does. So I'm hoping that's what he does with this hire. And I'll expect my phone to ring sometime this afternoon, but I'm going to be on a plane. So it don't matter. I don't care what they say today. I don't care. I kind of in my Nino Brown kind of outfit a little bit. I just need the Kango hat. And I'm my brother's keeper. Anyway, so we had that. That's what I'm talking about for Sark. That's what I want. That's what I want going forward. All right. So then, why y'all killing Chris Jackson this morning? He was just recruiter of the year last year. Now y'all want the man gone. But you know what? This is the thing, though. I'm going to say this. There's probably only a few people that like are safe, right? On the staff. Jeff Banks ain't going nowhere. Jeff Banks he will walk out of there when Steve Sarkeesian walks out of there. They'll both turn the lights off together. That is it. Those are the band of the brothers. That's it. Two peas in the pod. Jeff Banks ain't going nowhere. So now you got Pete K, probably not gonna go anywhere, right? Unless PK wants to take a job somewhere else, but PK is getting close to $2 million. So I don't see that happening unless Sark just feels like, hey, I want to promote Johnny Nance into that spot and so on and so forth. But I don't know if he feels like it's that drastic. So I think he's probably good. And Kyle Flood, I don't know if 1 year of the offensive line not meeting expectations is enough for Sark to say, I'm done with that, right? I think Sark can take some ownership of the offense. I can't put it all on Flood because ultimately he is the offensive coordinator. They work hand in hand, right? So he would be just as culpable as Flood. So I don't necessarily know if Kyle Flood, and that's the thing. Now, everybody else, hey man, see what happens between now and January. You know, I can't speak on anybody else. I don't know what that looks like. I feel most of the defensive staff is probably going to be cool. I don't think there's problems there, but the offensive stuff, again, when things that you don't meet the expectations, things happen. Changes happen. There's no offensive coordinator that's going to be fired. Starts off OC, right? So that's not going to happen. But everything else is kind of in play for me. So even when y'all talk about the Chris Jackson thing, even though I'm joking with you, and I'm like, man, why y'all messing with C-Jack like that? But I listen. Anything is on the table, I think, at this moment. I don't know where Sark's head is at. I don't know what he's thinking at this moment. Sark he stays close to the vest a lot. Usually he's kind of bam with some of these things. So in any case, we'll see what happens there. All right, let's go back to. Remember, I told you I got a flight to catch. So with that, this will not be the longest of long shows. I'm going to be here for a short time, not a long time. All right, so Chad Scott's gone. Then Aaron Joe, for some of you, you're like, some of you are like, who the hell is that? But there was a guy who was the director of scouting by the name of Aaron Joe. And he is taking a job as the GM of North Texas. And so how big of a blow that is, it's support staff. I mean, he was only here for 1 season. So, you can't say it's funny. Someone put his resume up on Orange Bloods. And my man is straight leasing. Okay. My man Aaron Joe is not staying at a place for a long time. He don't need a 12-month lease. He need like a 10-month lease like that. Or he just need to go month to month, quite honest with you, because my man moves around. But anyway, he's gone. They'll find somebody else to throw there. And then, we've got the transfer portal things. And yesterday was kind of a hot and heavy day. It's interesting that he put in the transfer portal these guys, but don't forget, actually missed a couple. Tyler missed a couple on this one. He should have put Jared Gibson, and then there was another person, running back, that went into the portal as well. So he missed a little bit. That's okay. I'm not going to get on Tyler today. At the end of the day, maybe I should have been the person who provided him with that list. But nonetheless, Tyler, Ricky Stewart's not on that list. Jared Gibson is not on that list. It's okay, Tyler. There's been 8 guys. All right, here's what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to fix this right quick in real time. How about this? I can do this real quick. I'm going to do departures, and then I'll do this. Will that all come in? Let's see. All right, let me see if I can do this. All right, here, that's better. So now let me just take this off the screen because the OCD part of me is just going to get annoyed by looking at this shit. All right, so there's the departures. How hard is that, Tyler? No, I'm just joking. Tyler might be like an unpaid intern or something. I don't know. And I'm just like, he might be, I don't know. I've never seen him. He might be like some kid who's like 20 years old. He's like, man, almost like yelling at me. Like, no, I don't know. These are the departures. Okay, that's happened. So Trey Owens is out. Jared Gibson happened before the season got over. You want to know why Chad Scott ain't here? Bro, you got 3 people in your room that rolled out. Like, what the hell? That's a sign of an unhappy room. That's for damn sure. That ain't a sign of a room where everybody likes the coaches. coach themselves. Watch, Chat Scott going to call me up later today. Like, but it's okay. I don't answer phone calls. I don't answer numbers. I get, you get all those spam calls. I don't even answer. But Jared Gibson out. CJ Baxter is done. Ricky Stewart is out. Aaron Butler's out. Connor Stroh decides that he's going to enter the portal. He announced that yesterday. Melvin Hills announced that as well. And, of course, Santana Wilson is there. No disrespect. Most of bottom half of the roster at this moment. This is the bottom half, with the exception of maybe like a Stroh, in a certain degree Baxter, but we kind of knew that Baxter was probably going to get pushed to the side at the end of the day. So these are the departures that we have so far. There's been 8. Just clearing up spot space, roster space, NIL space. I mean, these guys probably weren't making a ton, but it's clearing that thing up to them be able to go. So no, so far, no huge losses. And I know this, that the heavy emphasis before the season it was, hey, we got to make sure that we have enough money in our salary cap in order to retain all the guys that we want for 2026. So one of the reasons why you didn't see Texas go really, really crazy in the high school recruiting realm. And the thing that Texas is realized, and a lot of programs have realized, but the thing that Texas has realized and understands is that the transfer portal guys are actually the cheaper guys. I'm going to put y'all on game right now. The transfer portal guys are cheaper than the high school guys. They are. High school guys are asking for that, that high 6-7 figure kind of deals, right? A lot of the transfer portal guys are in that lower 6-figure range. I know, lower 6-figure, right? Those guys only want like $300 a year, right? You're like, oh, okay. Well, congratulations, Mr. 19-year-old who's making more than, most of the people in the chat. What they realize is the transfer portal guys are cheaper. Because the transfer portal guys are cheaper, there's no need to really, really go super crazy in the high school guys, especially for unproven commodities. I'll give you a good example. A guy like Matthew Golden when he transferred here from Houston, made anywhere anywhere between like $200,000 to $300,000 for a future first round pick. And then you have a guy like a DeCorian Moore, who is somewhere in that like $1.2, $1.5 million range. You see the difference, right? And so while you're waiting for guys to develop, you can also go and get proven talent. Now, I know Sark said he doesn't want to live in the portal, but it's hard not to when you consider where things are nowadays in today's sports. So now that you have the roster increases, what you're going to see when I look at the bottom half of the roster, that's okay, because you can probably combine all those salaries. Probably CJ Baxter was probably earning a good penny though. But now all of a sudden you can take some of that and get some transfer portal guys cheaper and more proven. So that's why it's probably not the biggest blow. Good luck to all those young men. But I think the thing that you're going to see now going into January is them saying, like, we've got guys. We're going to go after the guys who check the boxes. When we get those guys who check the boxes in the fold, then they'll be able to go and rebuild. But the other thing is they really want to focus on making sure they re-sign Colin Simmons of the world, to re-sign the Ryan Wingos of the world. I know it sounds like NFL football terms, but it really is what it is. It's to make sure those guys don't go into free agency. So you start thinking about the young talent on the team. The real emphasis is, let's make sure we got the money to keep the nucleus of the team. Arch Manning, you got to be able to keep. What's he going to want? Like, you got to be able to pay that, right? So that's where the thought process, that's where the focus is. Okay, let me do one more thing before I catch this flight. And I hope y'all know I like y'all so much. And I don't need a pat on the back, by the way. But I just want to let y'all know I like all of y'all so much that I was like, man, maybe I'll just record a show. I was like, ugh. And it's like, well, maybe I just won't do a show. I was like, I don't like that. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a quick show, even though I'm kind of doing my normal show. It is not as quick. You think American Airlines is going to hold the flag for me? Probably not. So just real quick, props to the guys who made the first team all SEC, Trevor Gooseby, as we know, Colin Simmons, Michael Taft. People have questioned me about the Michael Taft selection. But look, good for him. Props to him. Second team, Ryan Wingo, probably had a really good second half of the season. Anthony Hill Jr., which, debatable. Should he have been a first teamer? Probably. Malik Muhammad, and of course, Ryan Niblett, DJ Campbell there. The only thing that's really interesting about that whole thing, and we'll have plenty of conversations about this, is that if you would have made me $100 bet before the season and said, hey, Unc, I'll bet you $100 that Arch Manning won't be on the first, second, or third SEC team before at the end of the year, I would have taken that bet. And I would have lost 100. It's probably the only thing that's like, 2026, we got to get that right. We got to get that right. I don't know if Arch doesn't strike me as a guy that looks at that, is going to use that as fuel for the fire. But if I'm Sark, if I am AJ Milwee, if I'm any of those guys, I'm like, hey, man, we got to get in the lab. We got to do some work. And we got to make people put some respect on your name. And we're going to do that. And make sure put some respect on my name. And I don't want to hear this no more. Somebody got that. All right, y'all. I gotta catch a flight, man. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get to this Austin Bergstrom in this crazy where they got a TSA line, one TSA pre-check line and everything like that. All right, listen, I'm out. Y'all take care. Remember, I always say, live each day like it's your last. One day it will be. I'll be in Phoenix for the rest of the week at MLS Next Fest, where my son, my favorite goalkeeper, is going to be out there playing, doing the damn thing. So wish us luck. You guys take care. I'm going to try to do a show on Friday probably from the hotel or something. I'm bringing my equipment. So don't judge me if it looks like a chaotic mess behind me. Y'all take care. Remember I always say, live each day like it's your last. One day it will be. So go out and do something special for yourself. You absolutely deserve it. There's a lot of things that are going on. So make sure y'all stay tuned to this. And I'll see y'all soon.